The Kansas City Chiefs are coming off one of the best seasons in the NFL. They have their franchise quarterback Patrick Mahomes performing at a level we haven't seen before. 2 Super Bowl wins, 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, all in 5 years of starting in the league. Love him or hate him, it's safe to say Mahomes will continue to perform at a level that will impress NFL fans game after game. This offseason has been pretty solid for the Chiefs so far, even without signing the big names that everyone wants to see. They had a good draft and made some good pickups that will help them out a ton. The Chiefs took a loss at the wide receiver position, which seemed like it could hurt the offense, but I don't think it will. The Chiefs have so many receivers. They're stacked when it comes to that position. Yeah, losing McCole Hardman hurts a bit. He was a fast receiver and has some chemistry with Mahomes over the last few seasons, but a lot of people would have expected him to be leaving. Juju was also another player a lot of people expected would only stay for just 1 year. He saw a lot of growth throughout the season though, and I was happy to see him win a Super Bowl. But the thing about the Chiefs, they have so many young receivers with so much potential. You have Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, Justin and John Ross. I know he's not young, but you also have MVS, who is a proven deep threat. You also have guys like Justin Watson and Amir Smith. It's safe to say the Chiefs are stacked on receivers. The Chiefs have many receivers to choose from, so losing those 2 guys shouldn't be a major hit to them. The Chiefs added 2 players who are going to continue to help this offense improve. They're just great fits to this team. I called this out in one of my previous videos, but I said Rashee Rice would be a solid pickup in the draft if Jay Flower wasn't available. The Chiefs ended up trading up and were able to draft Rice. I think it's a great option for a couple reasons. Rice has shown signs of progression throughout his entire college career. He played 10 games as a freshman and had 25 receptions for 403 yards and a touchdown. Nothing crazy, but his sophomore season, he put up 48 receptions for 683 yards and 5 touchdowns. Already between those 2 seasons, there was solid progression. He improved almost double his receiving yards and had 5 times more touchdowns. As a junior, Rice recorded 64 receptions for 670 yards and 9 touchdowns. Easily his best season to date. He improved drastically from his sophomore season and freshman. The thing about this though is the Chiefs love progressing players and helping them grow. This shows that he's actively improving and wanting to get better and learn. And there isn't a better way to learn from learning one of the best offensive coaching staff and the best quarterback in the league. I hope that's not a hot take. Mahomes and Rice will build rapport throughout the entire season, and hopefully Rice will stick around for some time so we continue to see him progress in the NFL. Coach Reid had this to say: "You can see the strength in his route running and his ability to work in space. He's got good hands. Rice has a good ability to create yards after he catches well. Kadarius Toney does this really well, so having multiple guys able to create more yards after catching is a huge for offense." The thing Andy Reid noticed during the rookie training camp is Rice seemed to be getting tired, but Reid also mentioned that the camp was primarily focused around him. He put Rice in every receiver position, having him run multiple routes many different times, and was able to see his potential. Before the draft, Rice had a workout with Mahomes and the Chiefs. Mahomes has already been working on building chemistry with him, and if Mahomes didn't like what he was seeing prior to the draft, I don't believe Veach would make the decision to trade up in the draft for him. I think Rashee is a great fit to this team, and like he did in college, I believe he'll continue to improve throughout his entire NFL career. I'm not expecting a breakout season for him, but similar to Sky Moore last year, all I want to see is some growth. I'm sure most Chiefs fans remember, but at the beginning of the season, Sky Moore dropped a handful of punts. A lot of people didn't even want Sky on the field after that. The game against the Colts was sloppy from the whole entire team, but that was one of the main reasons the Chiefs lost that game. That was also another reason the Chiefs pushed to get Kadarius, but regardless, through the season, Sky still showed lots of progression. Andy Reid has high hopes for him next season. Another great pickup by Brett Veach is the Richie James signing. I like this pickup a lot since he had a breakout season last year with the Giants. He put up 57 receptions for 569 yards and 4 touchdowns. That doesn't sound like the craziest stat line, but compared to his previous years, that was huge improvement. I'm sure he'll be able to double those stats with Mahomes throwing him the ball. He recorded career best in every category, so I'm excited to see what he'll be able to get done with the Chiefs next season. He was tied for the most catches on the Giants last year, and if you compare that if he was on the Chiefs, he would have been 3rd behind Travis Kelce and Juju. 53% of his total receptions were beyond the line of scrimmage over the middle of the field, which is great news because he will be a great safety ball option for Mahomes if he ever needs to get a quick check pass off. Only 19 of his total catches were within the 9-yard line, which is good since he will be a solid option for catching deep balls. Mahomes needs to have more deep threats, so hopefully we'll see that out of Richie James. Towards the end of the season last year, James was becoming a top receiving option for the Giants. Similar to what I said about Sky Moore, Richie James did have some trouble with dropping punts, but like I mentioned, Kadarius Toney will returning punts. But this is a good thing regardless because he does have experience returning the ball, so in case they want to give Toney a rest, they can put Richie James in who can have some reps in. Richie James did a lot of returning for the Giants, so I don't think dropping a few balls will be a huge problem. I think he'll be just fine returning the ball. And this is good because now the Chiefs have multiple solid punt returners. Richie James and Rashee Rice are going to be great fits for the Chiefs next season. From what we've seen by their play style already, the Chiefs and Mahomes will be able to make it work. Like I said, I'm not expecting anything crazy yet out of Rashee Rice, but as long as he's progressing throughout the season, that will be a good sign. The way Richie James finished the season last year, too, is a great sign for Chiefs fans since he's now playing with a much better quarterback and under a new coaching staff. We all saw what happened from Kadarius Toney going from the Giants to the Chiefs, so maybe something similar. The Chiefs now have 2 former Giants over the last 2 years with Toney and James. But one player I cannot wait to see next season is Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco was one of the biggest draft steals in a while, being drafted in the 7th round. He showed so much improvement throughout the season last year, and there's going to be so much more he's going to be able to do throughout the next few years. He's a straight dog and is a power runner. He runs like his head is on fire, runs through anyone in his way. He improved so much throughout the season last season, coming off the bench to eventually starting over Clyde Edwards. He shocked the entire league. You can see his passion for the game just by how he is on the field. He's also always first to the huddles and just has a great attitude all around. Between Pacheco and now that they brought back McKinnon, the Chiefs have a very solid rushing offense, which makes them even scarier. The ability for them to have such a strong passing game but also have a solid rushing team is almost unstoppable. That's one thing the Chiefs offense struggled with the most was their run, but with Pacheco leading the running backs next season, it's going to continue to improve. Pacheco did recently have surgery this offseason, so we'll just have to see how that affects his abilities on the field, but hopefully he'll be all healed up when this season starts. This offense all around is scary. It's unfair for them to have an insane offense. It gives them so much more leverage that they're able to have such a strong run game. Pacheco's just going to continue to improve, and I have no doubt he'll be on the team for a while. I just still can't believe he fell to the 7th round. Outside of the draft, the Chiefs made some great defensive additions, picking up Jawan Taylor, Drew Tranquil, Mike Edwards. These are just some of the names they picked up. What they're able to get done this offseason after winning the Super Bowl was huge for them. They're showing they're able to keep improving and progressing to compete for the Super Bowl again. The defense last season really stepped up throughout the season as well, so adding on some new guys will be even better. One player a lot of Chiefs fans want to see back is Frank Clark. Chris Jones has been pretty vocal about wanting him back as well. Clark is a fan favorite, and the Chiefs should definitely try to bring him back even after releasing him. They're still able to resign him on a new contract. A lot of people were disappointed with the Chiefs not tagging Orlando Brown, but honestly, it's fine. In my opinion, he could be slightly overrated. I don't know if that's just me. Let me know what you think, but I think the defense they're putting together now would be just fine without him. It's not a huge loss. He had his time with the Chiefs. It's just time to move on from him. I know a lot of people were expecting Beach to go for DeAndre Hopkins around the draft, but he didn't. He still could make a move for him, but it's looking very slim. Hopkins has openly said he'd want to play for the Chiefs if he was going anywhere, but with camp starting up soon and he hasn't gone anywhere, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I still think if they do go for him, it would be a huge benefit for the Chiefs and would fit his playstyle better than majority of the teams in the league. Imagine Mahomes and D-Hop with the Chiefs coaching staff. That's just unfair. The league does not want that to happen. If it does happen though, that would be huge. But honestly, I wouldn't be too stressed out if it doesn't happen. He's a great player, improved last season when he played. He still has it in him to help out any team's receiving core, but like I mentioned earlier, the Chiefs really don't need another receiver. D-Hop is a great player, but he isn't in need for them. He'll still be great offensively regardless. Let me know if you think the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl next year. If they come out like they did last season and Mahomes has another MVP-like season, there's no doubt in my mind that they shouldn't be able to make it. They have a great team all around, and with all the changes they made, it will be interesting to see play out.